Hello everybody. All right, so I'm not in my office today. This is totally gonna be hodgepodge together. So if you guys got my reference in the emails or the posts, you guys know that this place that I'm at was discovered by the Germans in 1904. Hey Sed, hey Camila. So happy to have you guys on. So yep, it's true. If you got my Anchorman reference, I am sitting in not so sunny today, San Diego. And yesterday was fun. I had a good travel day. I didn't check. I forgot I normally do, and I used to have A-list preferred, but I hardly travel. So hey Camila, I can't wait to see you guys. So anyway, I had a sea boarding pass, and if you guys know Southwest, sea is like the death of you. Like you're gonna be like squished between two guys with extremely large shoulders that are like clipping their toenails. I mean, that's basically what sea means. And it was crazy because as I was walking in, I was literally the last person on the plane. The lady, the flight attendant kind of winked at me, and she was standing in the exit row in front of a chair. And I said, "Is that seat open?" And she was like, "Yep, and it's all yours." And so anyway, it was awesome, and I love Southwest. I posted a little bit about some of the things about Herb, oh my God, I can't talk today, about Herb Keller, their CEO, their founder, and just how much I loved his leadership style. So anyway, hey Annette and Donald, it's good to have you guys on. So today's a little bit, like I said, a little hodgepodge. I'm coming from San Diego. I'm sitting outside. It was raining earlier, thus the crazy frizzy hair. And not only that, but I had the audacity to wear a white t-shirt today. And I also spilled coffee because I was walking and talking. So clearly I just can't have nice things. I don't know, that's my life. So let me tell you guys why I'm here. I am here attending, if you can see, Social Media Marketing World. And it was this and another conversation that got me thinking about what today's topic would be. And so it's kind of different. It's not about marketing. It's not about sales. It's about what to do when you hit a slump. When you hit a slump in your career and when you're in a funk. And so today I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. This is just kind of free flowing. I was having a conversation with one of my clients who has literally been in a career funk, and she was asking what should I do because I feel just kind of burnt out. I've been in this industry. She's in multifamily for so many years, and she just said, I feel like I'm going through the motions. And for those of you that know me personally, I'm always try to be a fixer. It's kind of a good and bad quality, but I hate when people are going through hard things or where they're not happy with their life. And so I'm always okay, let's make a plan. How do we fix this? And so that was what that conversation was. It was just me and a girlfriend talking about how to jump out of a career funk. And after that, I talked about it with a couple of other people. And what I found is it doesn't matter whether you're working full-time or you're a stay-at-home mom and your number one role is to take care of your babies. We all get in funks with what we're doing. Hey Katie, good to have you. Amanda, Becca, nice to see you guys. But we all get in funks, and it's human nature, I think, sometimes. But what do we do to get out of them? Because who wants to be living life operating in a funk where you're not happy with what you're doing? So we talked about those things, and it was kind of like a pep talk session for her. And I thought this will be a really good topic to just talk about with my online friends. For those of you that are working full-time, you're working part-time, maybe you're working on your main passion, or it's a side hustle, or you're trying to do both, or you're raising kids or whatever, and you're just in a funk. So how do you get out of there? So I wanted to talk about 3-4 things that you need to ditch, and some of the tips that have helped. And I hope that you guys tag and share your coworkers and even your team, because I think everybody gets in this, but a lot of times people don't tell their boss they're in a funk, because who wants to let their boss know that they're not excited about their job, right? It's like career suicide, or you don't want your boss thinking of that. But it's probably likely that if they've been doing this a while, or if they're not showing up how they used to be, that they're in a career funk. So let's talk about that. So the very first idea that I want us to ditch is the comparison game. So I think one of the things that we do is we think somebody else has it all figured out, and nobody has it all figured out, and nobody has it all figured out all the time. And if they tell you, then hey girl, good to see you, Vicky and Sarah and Marcy. Glad to have you guys on, and I'm in San Diego today. But back to that, if somebody tells you that they've got it figured out, or social media, we think that people are, know what they're doing and they're pursuing their passion and they're always on. That's a lie. So the very first thing to ditch is thinking that somebody else is further along in their career or in their life than you are. And that's like a dangerous road to be on. At the same time, though, the second thing that I want you to ditch is the idea of blaming somebody else for your funk. So nobody else is responsible for your career or for where you're at in life. Courtney, good to see you on. Nobody else is going to be responsible for that. So ditch the idea that somebody else is responsible to take your career or your life to the next level that you want to be at, because that's not true. And so the reason I wanted to bring it while I'm here attending the social media marketing conference is because one of the biggest things that we can do to get out of the funk of our career is to find something that we're really passionate about, again, and a focus. And for all of us, whatever we're doing, there are different levels of expertise within what we're doing that we need to reignite. And so I know for some, let's say you're in multifamily, you're a property manager, and maybe you've been at the same property for 5, 10, 15, I talk to managers that have been in their community 30 years. So how do they do it to get out of a funk? Well, the reality is, if you settle into the idea that it's good enough where you're at and complacently be where you're at, you're going to eventually get into a funk because you're not learning, you're not growing. And so the idea that you can settle is kind of one of the most dangerous places to be. So I wanted to share this quote from Vince Lombardi. I wrote this down, and he said that the joy is in creating and not maintaining. And what that means is, for a lot of us, we think that in our lives we want to be really comfortable, and comfortable is like the goal that everybody's working to. But what we find is that as human beings, we need something to look forward to, and we need something to be excited about. And we're excited when we're creating or when we're doing. So the biggest antidote for feeling like you're in a slump is to take action. Action creates opportunities, and action just gets us moving to where we see the possibilities. Part of that, though, is that you've got to ditch the noise. And it's like, here comes all these fire hydrants right now. So talking about ditching the noise, like perfect timing. A lot of the times when we're in a funk, we're not sure why we're in a funk, but we're so busy that we're just going through everything we have to go through. So it's hard to think about what it is that is causing us to be in that funk. So the very thing is, ditch the noise, take some time, and remember why you got into the career that you did in the first place. And ask yourself what it is that you loved about it. I know when I first became a property manager, very quickly I was in a funk, because I got in it because I loved people and I loved marketing and I loved sales, but I was doing very little of that. I was really just in operations mode and trying to keep my head above water. And so I found myself in a funk. What I did to try to fix that is I jumped back in and said, how can I incorporate the things that I love and claim my expertise? So I started digging into marketing. I started thinking, how can I build this as like my expertise, the voice that I bring to the table? And so in a way, you've got to look for that. John Wooden, he's a UCLA coach. He says, if you wait, when opportunity comes, it's too late to prepare. So for those of you that are not happy where you're at in your career, in your life, you can start preparing right now for the opportunity that you want, and then activate the opportunities that you already have. And that goes to a lot of the conversation is, what if my boss doesn't want to invest in me? What if there's a conference I want to go to, or there's a session that I want to do, and they're just not willing to spend the money on me? The biggest thing I can say to that is spend the money on yourself. I hear a lot of people say, well, it's not my job to pay to go to a conference, or it's not my job to take this online course. The bottom line is, if you don't invest in yourself, that's an investment that you take wherever you go, whether you're at a property or you're at this one firm or whatever you're doing. Any of those investments, they're going to stay with you. So that's the best place that you can invest, because nobody can ever take that away from you. So if you've hit a funk, look for an opportunity to learn and look for an opportunity to reignite something. So for me, I'm here at Social Media Marketing World. My focus this year is all on marketing Sprout, and Lauren's focus is on building and growing our team. And so we both have a clear focus, and we're both taking training that is leading us in that direction. And early on when I started Sprout, I had no money. My husband and I bootstrapped the business, for those of you that don't know our story. And I had $0 dollars. I not only gave up my job, but I also I wasn't making money initially, and I didn't want to take out a loan. And I invested in a $1,200 course. Some of you have heard of Marie's B School. I saw it online. I watched all of the courses, and I was just inspired by the way this person talked about business, and I just loved it. And I thought, you know what? well, I can either figure this out alone and I can pay the costly price of doing this for years and years, or I can go to somebody that's years ahead of me. And it was $1,200, and I remember that it was expensive, and then I talked to Lauren about it and we said, no, let's do it. We also invested in getting a mentor. We paid for a business coach long before we could afford it. At the beginning, it was virtual. We were doing it with a coach that, we'd never met and was coaching multiple people. And then in the years, we saw the value of that, and so we hired another coach. But that's the bottom line. If you want to learn to cook, you're going to go to somebody that knows how to cook. So if there's an area of your career that you're interested in, prepare for the opportunity before it's even there. Take those courses. Don't wait for somebody to give you that handout or to give it, or to take that opportunity for you. And then also be okay with being uncomfortable. A lot of times when we get in a rut, it's because we're doing the same thing day in and day out, and we're expecting to have a different result. We know that Albert Einstein said that's insanity. So get comfortable doing something that is uncomfortable. Stop the security of the familiar. I wrote that down because I think sometimes we get really comfy in what's familiar. So for those of you that are on, will you guys let me know, how long have you been at the job that you're currently at right now? Just drop me a line. I want to hear from you guys. How long have you been at your job? Because I know for me what would happen is at a certain year mark, I'd start to get a little bit burnt out and a little bit frustrated, and that was when it was time to switch it up again. So for those of you that have been at your jobs 2, 3, 4 years, you might be starting to hit that funk, that over it, that burnout. I love that. So Barbara, a lady with my name, 17 years, 1 year at this property, 15 years, Katie, in the business. What do you guys do when you're in a funk? 6 months, Vicky. What do you guys do when you guys are feeling the funk? I'm going to keep talking, but I want to hear what you all have to say. So something else that I find, and this is kind of an idea that we need to ditch too, a lot of times when we're at a funk at work, it's because we're in a funk in life. And I find this, Anna, I love you. Anna's been at Sprout 1 year and 8 amazing months at Sprout. Girl, you forever have a job here. Donji, 6 months, but in the company for years, 7 years. Training, yes, absolutely, guys. When we're learning, when we're, I love that learners are earners, we're growers, and the more that we learn, we get excited and passionate about what we're doing. So invest. And I will say something else, guys. For those of you that have been in the industry 17 years, multifamily or real estate, take a training outside of this industry. I love NAA, go to those if you can afford it. But every once in a while, go to a marketing conference, go to a conference on accounting, finance. If it's an area that you're weak in, do that, because how awesome to get excited about this and, reignite a certain passion. The other thing that I also find is that when you're in a funk, helping somebody else is going to be super helpful. So if you have a leasing consultant under you, or there's somebody that you can help train, that's always it reminds you of why you love what you're doing, to train somebody else. So practical things. So for when you're in a funk, practical things is say, hey, so I say I have these goals, or do I? First of all, what are my goals? What are my career goals? What are my life goals? And then ask yourselves, are my actions every single day in line with my goals? So I love that. It's if you say that you want to lose weight, you want to be healthy, but you're sitting at home and it's, 6 o'clock and you're binging on Netflix and eating a bunch of Cheetos, that's fine if that's what you want to do. But if your goals are the complete opposite, then you know what? We're not living in line with our goals. So if you say that you want a career and a life that you're excited about, but you're doing the same old thing, you're showing up to work, you're not prepared, you haven't outlined your goals, then your actions are not in line with what you're saying, right? So that is hugely dangerous. So first of all, figure out what it is that you want. A lot of us, we got into the business, myself included, by accident, but what is it that we love and what is it that we do? We get to impact people. How can we do that better? The second thing is saying, how am I doing in life, right? So a lot of times, like I said, if you're in a funk in your career, it's because you're in a funk in life. You're not, feeling like, you're not feeling like as if you're connecting enough in your life, or maybe you're just kind of going through the motions and you're not happy there. So get out and do something, change your environment. In addition to learning, I always say, Lauren and I say, anytime that we can leave our environment, whether it's for a few hours and go work at a coffee shop together or by ourselves, or we can get out of town for 1 or 2 days, attend a conference, or just brainstorm, anytime you can change your environment, you get a whole new perspective in life. And it seems crazy, but it's like you see other people, you get inspired, and you're not dealing with the day-to-day hustle. So for me, I wasn't in a funk when I came here, but I did know that I needed to continue growing in this area, and it's something exciting that I can then bring back to my clients, to my team, and my excitement is then going to feed their excitement. So I'm really glad that all of you guys have tuned in. 30 years in the business, Vicky. I love that you get in. So Vicky says that when she gets in a funk, she steps away from manager's duties and steps into the leasing. I found that to be so true. When I was a manager and I was walking property and dealing with all the grouchies, anytime I could lease and I could sell and I could see somebody so excited about seeing their home for the first time and telling me why they were moving, all of a sudden I was reignited. The same thing with Sprout. Like, now that we own a business, there's days where I'm just like in a mood because I'm doing a lot of the things that I have to do, but not a lot of the things that I love to do. And so if that is the case for you, find the quiet space to find the things that connect you back to the heart of why you're doing what you're doing. And then this might not be popular with some people, but sometimes you're in a job that you probably shouldn't be in. And I'm not telling anybody to go and quit their job, but if you've been trying to get out of a funk and this place is sucking your soul dry and you don't feel in line with the company's values or the vision, then it's probably not the place for you. And that is okay. And so for some of us, we have to stay where we're at financially, but figure out what it is that you're passionate about. And if you need to make that cut when the time is right. Again, back to that quote that says that if you wait for opportunity to show up, you're already too late. It's too late to prepare. So prepare for the job that you want and show those qualities and develop those qualities now. Hey V, I'm so happy to see you here. So those are the things. Get out of your environment, go for a walk. We talk about some of the basics. Set yourself up for a good day with a good morning routine. Everybody, if you're in any of the motivational quotes or in the speakers of influencers, everybody's talking about a morning routine. What's funny is it's so true, but it's nothing new. The way that you set up your day is going to be the most important. So your first couple of hours of the day, what are you doing to get yourself prepared? And then what are you doing throughout the day? And the other myth that happens too is that, okay, if I just bury my head and get this work done, I'll get out of the funk. And that is a huge lie that we're told. More work is not always meaning more production. So just because we're busy doesn't mean that we're actually doing anything. So sometimes in the middle of the day, step out. Leah always talks about go get lunch, and we're huge I get stuck at the desk a lot of times, and then, it's like reminding ourselves and our coworkers, let's go for a 5-minute walk, or just go outside and have a cup of coffee or a water, get some fresh air. So if you're in a funk, change your mindset, set some goals, change your priorities, don't pass the blame. Nobody can get you out of that funk but you. So saying that your boss isn't supporting you, saying that your boss isn't training you, I hate hearing that from an employee that says, oh, but I don't know where to get. Education is everywhere, and education is free. And sometimes just getting pumped up about something that you're doing in life is enough. Action creates opportunity, and the bottom line is, as human beings, we all need something to look forward to. So when you have something on the calendar that's something you're working towards, whether it's a goal or it's a vacation or it's just something you're learning and you can't wait to hit that goal, when you're anticipating that something is coming up and that it's something that's good for you, man, we get all excited. Think about how productive we are right before a vacation. But the problem is, if we're living for the weekend, we are in trouble, because most of us are working 5 days a week. It's the majority of the time. So if we're spending those 5 days miserable, it's no way to live, right? Let's not wait for retirement. Let's not wait for when we pay off debt. Let's find ways to get inspired with what we're doing every single day. So guys, let me tell you real quick, at Social Media Marketing, I want to hear what you guys want to learn about. So these are the sessions I'm going to take today. And then Monique and Camila are coming, but we're going to work on creating long form video ads that sell, and how to write copy that sells without being salesy, and then how to make visual content with your social media. And then my biggest highlight is, hey Anna, so good to see you. I'm so glad that you guys needed this. Brian and Sarah, I'm so happy that this hit home. I'm here to get a little bit more inspired in what I do every single day so that we can bring that to our clients. But I have to tell y'all, I think Thursday or Friday, Amy Porterfield is presenting, and I'm having a total fangirl moment. So hopefully I get to meet her, and hopefully this was helpful. So do something different, go for a walk at the very least, set out your goals, and I just can't wait to see how you guys are crushing it, not only in your career, but also in your life. So I'll be checking in throughout the day and let you guys know how it's going, and happy to see all of you on. Loved all the comments for my 30 years in the industry plus. Keep doing what you're doing, and I'll see you guys soon.